So we're going to get started in child's pose. And when we take this first child's pose, I'm going to encourage us to connect to our diaphragmatic breathing. And we do that by aligning the rib cage. First, by plugging the rib cage towards the pelvis, it can allow for maximum movement of the diaphragm or maximum expansion of the rib cage. We want to think of our diaphragm pulling straight down towards the pelvic floor. Think of it like the tissue of the diaphragm, like a balloon almost. And as you breathe in, it's pulling straight down to your pelvic floor. And as it pulls straight down, it allows for maximum expansion of the lungs and thus the rib cage. So let's try that in our first child's pose. As you come into child's, let your ribs plug straight down to your pelvis. And go inward. Pierce through the layers. And as you exhale, feel the rib cage move towards the pelvis. And as you inhale, feel the movement of the diaphragm. Visualize it so you can visualize the rib cage expansion. Come up onto your hands and your knees. And we'll roll through some cat and cow. Inhaling into extension and exhaling to round the spine. Come into neutral, curl the toes under, lift the hips and reach back. And stretching the legs here, bend one knee and reach the other heel down. Alternate here, pedaling the heels, warming up the ankles and the calves. Set your knees down and with your toes curled under, reach your hips back, extended child's pose. Come back up. Hands, shoulders come over the wrists. And then stretch back again. Come back up and step your right foot up to your right hand, lightly. Upright yourself. Stack yourself up over your left knee. Then bring your left hand behind your head, right hand onto your lower back. And as you exhale, first plug your rib cage all the way down towards your pelvis so that we can breathe diaphragmatically, symmetrically. And once you have the rib cage aimed down, as you inhale, visualize the center of the diaphragm moving down towards the pelvic floor and the rib cage expanding in all directions. And as you exhale, bring the elbows forward, reconnect rib cage. As you inhale, diaphragm moves down, rib cage expands. Exhale, elbows in, rib cage down. Inhale, open. Good. Then reach your left arm straight up and your right arm down. Bring your left hand down to the ground. Lift your back knee and twist. Plant your right hand down inside of your foot. Step back, plank position. With your toes curled under, set the knees down. Stretch the hips back, extended child. Then come forward, shoulders over the wrists. Now adding on here, bring your pelvis towards your wrists like you're doing up dog. Grip the buttocks down. Let the front open as you engage your back muscles. And as you exhale, stretch back, extended child's pose. Come back up and lightly step your left foot up to your left hand. Upright yourself and bring your pelvis right over top of your right knee. Slide your left hand behind your back. On your exhalation, let your rib cage plug down and your elbows come forward. Inhale, diaphragm moves down, rib cage expands in all directions as the elbows move back. Exhale forward. Inhale back. Exhale forward. Inhale, expand, diaphragm down. Reach your right arm up. Left arm reaches down. Plant your right hand down and twist. Plant your left hand inside of your left foot and step into plank position. Now retract your shoulder blades and then protract. Spread the blades away. Retract the shoulder blades, keep your core, and spread. 2 more times. Set knees down, stretch back, extended child. Glide forward, shoulders over the wrist, hips towards the wrist, engage the buttocks. Open up through the front. And stretch it back. Extended child. Come forward, shoulders over the wrists, hips to the wrist. And stretch back. Downward facing dog. Then walk your feet forward. With your feet shoulder distance apart, here's where that strap might come in handy. Either interlock your hands behind your back or take your hands shoulder distance or however wide you need to open up the chest and the shoulders as you fold forward. Then drop your hips into a chair position and take your arms forward into a low chair, into a squat. Lift hips, interlock or strap up. Drop into your squat. Arms come forward. If your butt drops all the way down, you're welcome to take your arms up all the way. And fold. Reach the arms. And into the squat. Last one, fold forward. And into your squat. Come back to forward fold, this time hands down. And with your feet close together, let your butt drop down and your heels lift as you lift your heart. I love starting with these warm-up squats and forward folds. Lift the hips, drop the head. And then drop your hips again, lift your heart up. Last one. Lift hips, drop your head. Roll yourself up to stand. Spread your arms and reach up. With your feet hip distance apart, draw your rib cage down towards your pelvis and then drop your left arm side bend over to your left. Think of reaching up and over instead of how far to the side you can go. If you can reach up as you go over and then change sides. Come back to center and fold forward. Inhale halfway up. Step back, plank position. From your plank pose, bring your right knee up to your chest. Spread your shoulder blades, push the ground away. Tap your knee down and inhale. Reach your heart forward. Exhale, pull back up. Inhale, tap knee, reach your heart. Exhale, lift it up. Inhale, stretch into three-legged dog. Exhale, step your foot all the way up to your thumb lightly. Then reach your arms back behind you. Good. Now as you hold in this position, fasten your right hip back and in. Press into your right foot, your heel, big toe mountain, little toe mountain. Take your arms forward. Turn the thumbs up as you reach forward. And then spread the arms out to the side and reach back. Go forward and back 3 more times. Now hold the arms forward as you reach through your back leg. Into the twist, plant your left hand and raise your right arm. Into the side plank, we'll start by turning onto the outside edges of the feet. Hold there. Reach your right arm over and stretch as you lift your bottom hip. Then spin your feet back to neutral as you plant your hands down. Step into plank pose. As you hold in plank, let's do 5 scap push-ups or 3 full chaturanga push-ups. So controlling into the scapula, keeping the core, keeping the pelvis, or doing your full chaturanga push-ups. Then into up dog, you can do the knees down variation, or you can go for full up dog. And then lift the hips and stretch back into Adho Mukha Svanasana, down dog. Come back to plank pose. Pull your left knee up to your chest. Push the ground away. As you inhale, tap your knee down, reach your heart. Exhale, pull it back up. Push the ground away. Inhale, tap and reach your heart. Exhale, pull it up. Last one. Inhale, tap and reach. Exhale, pull up, push the ground away. Inhale, reach back into three-legged dog. Then step your foot up. As lightly as you can. Foot your arms back behind you. So the lower you lean your chest, the more work it is for your core here. You can err on the side of lifting up a little bit if your shoulder mobility isn't as good. But we're going to try to press the hands as far away from the floor as we do this. So with your thumbs pointed down at first, lift the hands as far away from the ground as you can. And then take them out to the side and start to rotate the thumbs up as you take your arms forward. And work the hands as far away from the ground as you can without your ribs falling down. Spread and reach back. And then forward. 3 more times. Hold in the forward position. Reach to your back foot like you're pressing into a wall. Reach past your fingertips. Then plant your right hand down and twist. Spin onto the outside edges of your feet. Lift bottom hip as you reach your left arm over. Plant your left hand onto the inside of your foot. Now this round, spin your back heel down, and we're going to walk the hands towards the back foot. Toes lift up on the left foot as you squat towards your right heel. And then change sides. Spin the left foot, walk the hands towards the left as you spin your right foot. Change sides. And change sides. Then spin the feet back to the original position and step into plank position. And this time we'll do 5 chaturanga push-ups or 5 scat push-ups. Remember, the core and pelvis connection is primary, so even if you're doing the full push-ups, make sure that you're not dipping in your middle as you're pushing back up, even if you have to do the knees down like I'm showing. Stretch into downward facing dog. Reconnect to your breath. Now make your down dog just slightly shorter. And as you wrap your shoulder blades out onto your side and push into your hands, bring your right hand towards your left shin or ankle and keep pressing into the left. Open up through the armpit like the armpit's yawning open. Change sides, plant the right hand, left arm back. Stay connected to your breath. One of the ways that we can keep touching the infinite in the practice is by practicing cultivating the inner awareness, and the breath is a great way, a great invitation inward. Plant both hands down. Look forward, step, walk, or float to the front. And as you inhale, come up halfway. As you exhale, fold forward. Drop your hips into a chair. Arms come forward. As the rib cage plugs in, raise the arms up. And fold. Inhale halfway up. Plant hands, step back, chaturanga. Keeping your connection. Lower all the way down to the ground. And inhale, roll into cobra pose, your first cobra. Feels good. Lower yourself down and stretch your arms forward. Let's do further back body strengthening here. As you bring the feet close together, engage your legs, press the feet down, and then roll your elbows back. Pull the elbows back as you reach your sternum forward, and slide your arms forward. Row the elbows back as you wake up your back muscles, and stretch forward. Last one, squeeze your buttocks, engage the back as you row back, pull. Chin in, neck long. Good, now set your hands down. Press up into plank pose. And stretch into downward facing dog. Good job. Step your right foot up to your right thumb. Set up your back foot for warrior one. As you ground your back heel, press into the right heel, big toe mound and little toe mound. Arms stretch back. Reach through your back foot, arms stretch forward, and back. And forward. Good. Reach into your back foot as you reach past your fingers. Then bring hands to your heart. As you reach your buttocks down, lift up through the front of your pelvis. Take your elbows up overhead. Exhalation to let the rib cage return to home position. And on the inhalation, visualize your diaphragm, your breathing balloon pulling straight down towards your pelvis so that the rib cage expands evenly. Bring your hands back down, step back, take a vinyasa, or just go right back into down dog, your call. Step your left foot lightly with control. Set up your back foot for warrior one. Reach your arms back behind you. And as you reach and connect into your back foot, arms reach forward, thumbs turn up, and back. Arms forward as you externally rotate, and back. Internally rotate as you reach back. Fight away from the floor. Externally rotate as you go forward. Bring hands to prayer. Initiate the movement from your pelvis. So move the buttock flush down as you plug into the feet. Lift through the front of the pelvis. Take arms up and grab opposite elbows. Bring your hands down and step back in a down dog or take a vinyasa. Look between your hands. Step or float to the front. As you inhale, elongate. And exhale, fold. Drop your hips into chair pose. Arms forward. Lift up. Arms all the way up. And fold forward. Inhale halfway up. Step back. Vinyasa. Step your right foot for warrior one. And let's bind the elbows again up overhead. Hands come down, step back, vinyasa. Step your left foot up. Come up and bind your elbows. Hands down, step back, vinyasa. And hopefully you're trying to incorporate all that work that we've been practicing, the diaphragmatic breath with the rib cage, and coming up through the movement of the pelvis. Okay, cool. Look forward, step or jump up to the front. Inhale, elongate. Exhale, fold. Drop into chair. Arms forward. Arms all the way up. Stand and turn to your left. With your legs wide apart, a comfortable distance that you would have for triangle, let's reach the arms back, and as you hold the arms back into extension, try not to let your ribs come forward, but press back and feel those muscles in the backs of your arms and backs of your shoulders engage. And also engage your buttocks, squeeze your buttocks down and in so it feels like the front is opening. So it feels like front of the shoulders opening. Just by holding this isometric, feel the front body opening. Now sit your right hip towards your heel, lunge, take your arms forward, and then come back up. Press into the right foot and squeeze. And go to the other side. And then come back up. Squeeze to the right. Back up. to the left. Back up. Maybe you feel yourself going a little bit deeper each time. To the right. Back up. To the left. Back up. Now turn the legs to the right for extended side angle. Bend the right knee. Tap the elbow to the knee. Reach the left arm over. Back up. Change sides. Getting good at the footwork here. Fancy footwork. Rotate the back foot. Back up. Change sides. Maybe you can go a little deeper. Back up. Change sides. Back up. Change sides, and we'll hold on this third one. Come back up. Change sides. Come back up. Now let's do the same for triangle pose. Rotate your legs to the right. Tip your pelvis out over your right leg. Back up. Change sides. Back up. Change sides. Back up. Change sides. Back up. And then we'll hold. Inhale back up and change sides. Inhale, come up. Parallel your feet. Step up to the top of your mat. All right, then let's lie down for Shavasana. Roll over to your side. And gently press up to seated. Thank you. Namaste.